Thanks, everybody. I really want to thank GovExec and NextGov for having me come and talk to you today, tell you a little bit about my story. I want to tell you a little bit about how the Presidential Innovation Fellows program was created back in 2012 and how it spurred pretty much a great talent innovation across government. And I'm here to talk to you today about how a small group of people used the existing federal hiring rules to create this. Our first class of Presidential Innovation Fellows back in 2012. This was 18 incredible developers, designers, lawyers, physicians, venture capitalists, and more who joined us on this first experiment to try to bring people in from outside of government for short tours of duty to come work inside of government. Fast forward to 2015, we've had 3 classes of fellows come through the program, and the president has seen the success and impact that he decides to make it permanent through executive order. All in the meantime, fellows have wanted to do other things beyond their fellowships and have wanted to try to figure out how to do and create other things in government. So in between all of this, they create organizations like 18F. We heard from Jen a little bit ago from 18F. A group at GSA, which is a digital services delivery organization that really works with agencies to figure out how to build, buy, and share digital services. This was created by Presidential Innovation Fellows alumni. You'll hear me refer to them a lot as PIFs because it's shorter to say, and it also sounds cooler to a lot of people, so we try to do that. PIFs also created the United States Digital Service. This is a startup in the White House that pairs some of the top tech talent across the country with some of our top civil servants in federal government to really look at how we can increase the usability and reliability of digital services across government that are impactful and super important to get done and to get done quickly. So I'm here to tell you a little bit about how it all started back in 2012. So there were 2 vital elements that created and combined together made the ideal environment for a program like the PIF program to be born and to thrive. And that first one was Todd Park. Todd Park was the U.S. Chief Technology Officer back in 2012. And he had the vision and the passion and able to bring people from outside of government to work with really great folks inside of government on a tour of duty entrepreneur in residence model to help drive change and impact. And he did this first at HHS with the Entrepreneurs in Residence program. When he came over to the White House back in 2012, he wanted to figure out how do we do this across agencies? How do we do this across industry sectors? So he recruited individuals like myself, a new presidential management fellow at the time, completely brand new into government and completely brand new to the federal hiring process to figure out how do we do something like that across agencies and across industry sectors to drive change. Without his boldness and his passion and willingness to take a risk, without his ability to empower and inspire the people around him, and without his determination to fight the many battles and hurdles that we had in making this happen, there's no way that the program would have been off the ground and has been as successful as it has been. The other element that made it so successful, the existing hiring rules. I know that probably sounds really crazy, that the existing federal hiring rules actually allowed us to do things like this. So this is actually a clip of 213-3102R in Title V of the Code of Federal Regulations. It's often referred to as Schedule AR. It's a small part of the Title V that allows individuals to come into government, usually under what's called an accepted service appointment. Usually it's a term-limited, time-limited appointment. And this regulation has been on the books since at least 1998. And what does it allow us to do? It allows the federal government to bring in people with limited applicant pools to come in and work on short-term projects, and usually under programs like fellowship programs or industry exchange programs to help with that cross-fertilization and exchange of ideas. And it's one of those things that it's very broad when you read it. So how do you do it? How did we take this regulation that was buried and turn it into something like the PIF program? Well, we worked with really great policy experts at OPM, like Mike Mahoney and Karen Jacobs, who walked us through the process and helped us create a program with very little additional resources and a few agencies willing to bring on fellows to try walking with us in this journey on this sort of pilot people mission that we were on. So I've talked about this regulation so often, and I've advocated for better use in government so much that a lot of my colleagues now call me the Schedule A whisperer. May not be the coolest title, but I'll take it. So the biggest challenge that we had in creating this program wasn't necessarily finding people that were willing to do it. It was actually convincing agencies that yes, you can do it under the existing hiring rules. When we talk about the federal hiring process, most of the time we hear about how complex, challenging, and difficult it is. So when we were saying that you could bring in amazing, innovative talent, not for a permanent career, but for a short stint of duty to come in and work on really complex problems that you're trying to solve, nobody believed us. So we worked with them tirelessly, myth-busting with folks at OPM to tell them you can do it under existing rules, and we're going to work with you to show you how. Now, during our first class of fellows, we worked with a lot of people to get the word out, and we had over 1,000 people apply to this class of a brand new program that never existed. They didn't know what they were expecting, but we had a ton of people knocking on our door say, hey, I want to do it. Why? Well, we have two theories behind that. One is that we weren't asking for a career. We were asking for 12 months. And for a lot of the people that we were trying to recruit, that was doable. A lot of people that we were looking for were people early to mid in their careers who had a proven track record and success in what they were doing and had that entrepreneurial, innovative mindset to approach problems in a different way. And the other thing that we were able to offer them as a government that no other employer can is mission at scale. The federal government by far has some of the most compelling missions. And the type of talent that we need in order to do that is immense. And we as a federal government need to do so much better in marketing our powerful and compelling missions to help recruit the talent that we need for 21st century. This is our value proposition, and we can offer it a lot better than a lot of other places across the country and across the globe because we have the direct ability to impact so many people in such a large scale. So now the PIF program is 4 years old. They've brought in over 112 fellows across 11 different backgrounds, working with 33 incredible agency partners. And in that time, they've impacted the lives of over 150 million people. How cool is that? And what's even cooler is that federal government does this every day across all of our agencies, across all of our missions. But that doesn't even cover what the coolest part of this was. The coolest part was that fellows wanted to stay after they did their fellowship, after they did their tour of duty. We thought that maybe a small percentage of folks would try to find opportunities and continue to do work in government, but that most would go back to the private sector being like, see you later, I did my 12 months. But what we were so surprised by is with almost every class, about 40 to 60% of individuals wanted to stay in government, either working on the project that they were working on or finding other opportunities. And so thus, organizations like 18F and USDS were created. They found other people like them and brought in a ton of talent in the span of 4 years with really great skill sets that are really hard to recruit in government to come in and try to approach problems in a different way. And it's been an amazing process to see. You can do it too. For a lot of the federal agencies and folks in there being like, I don't know, seems too good to be true, seems too difficult. Believe me, I've been there, and you can do it, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how. Here are some of the lessons that we learned along the way, some of the things that were critical and key to our success. One is that this has to be a partnership. One of the biggest misconceptions about these programs is that the idea is to bring in really great, innovative people from Google or Amazon and have them come into government and fix everything. That couldn't be further from the truth. We already have amazing, incredible people within government trying to tackle problems every day. And without their ability and track record for success, pairing them with great innovators outside of government and in developing those mindsets together around a mutual mission to drive impact, none of these programs could have worked. The people inside of government are just as important as the people that you bring in from the outside. It has to be a partnership in order for this to work, and they both provide a dual important role in driving the missions that they work on. You have to build your team around the mission that you're trying to accomplish, and you have to bring everybody to the table. One of the best pieces of advice that we got from Todd Park was that no matter what you're trying to do in government, there are at least 3 other people that have wanted to do it longer than you have, and probably know more about it than you do. And they are your greatest allies. And also, a lot of the people that we work with in government that we automatically perceive are going to say no and be our greatest enemies, folks in procurement, folks from our general counsel, folks that we always think that we go to and knock on their door and they're going to tell us no when we try to approach ideas, they're your greatest allies. And you need to bring them in onto the team and into the mission and tell them and show them that their role in making this happen is just as important as us pounding the pavement trying to bring people in. When we transferred the program over to GSA, who now sponsors it and has been a great sponsor for the program ever since, we wouldn't have been able to make that happen without folks like Bonnie Hochholder, an amazing senior HR specialist who sat down with us and hashed out a process in order to screen applicants in a short amount of time using subject matter experts, and to build a process where we could bring these people in as quickly as we could because they only had 12 months to provide impact. Without her work and from out the work of other folks in all of our mission support functions, there's no way that we could have got the program as successful as where it is today. User, test, everything. This goes for no matter what you're trying to do, whether you're trying to hire people into government, whether you're trying to create a product or a service, no matter what you're trying to do, you need to user test what you're creating with the audience that you want to use it, and you need to do it early. This is so incredibly important because you need to bring them into the process. And when you do this the right way, you're going to get an exponentially better product. You're going to get a product that people will actually use. And you're going to get so much more buy-in from support the communities that you need to make this happen. Give credit freely. You'll be surprised at how much you can get accomplished in government and anywhere if you don't care who gets the credit. Everyone who works on your mission and on your effort to make it a success needs to understand and realize how their individual efforts impact the mission. And the best example that I have of this is one of our early projects that we worked on that we heard a little bit about today, Blue Button for America. It was a project designed to try to get a veteran's medical records all in one place so that they went to go get care, they could have it at least all in one spot. And the physicians that we brought in, the coders that we brought in, the great folks at the VA that were working with hospital administrators, each and every one of them understood how their work brought together made it easier for a veteran to go get care when they needed it, and they needed it quickly. And that's what drove the success, is that we made sure that everybody, down from the admin who was working to try to get us to be able to talk about things like this, or to the physicians and coders who are working to make the systems work, they all need to understand and be empowered that they have an impactful role in driving the mission, and you need to give that credit early and often. Luckily, I still get to be on a people mission. Right now, I'm working with OMB at the Office of Performance and Personnel Management, and the reason I was brought in is to help identify and scale best practices in federal hiring across the government. Sometimes when you hear through the press and you hear things are going on, it doesn't seem like there are that many great practices in federal hiring, but there actually are, and they're hard to find, but we're looking through and we're spreading the information about that through what we're calling the Hiring Excellence Program. Now, this is a great program that we have partnered with OPM, and they provide exceptional training to federal agencies, human resource specialists, and managers across the country on hiring flexibilities and authorities that are available and how to use them, how to put together a strategic recruitment strategy so that you're bringing in a diverse applicant pool to the jobs you're trying to hire great talent for. And also really looking at assessments to make sure that you're screening folks the right way to make sure that you're getting the best talent through the door. We've worked through the past 6 months and have trained over 3,000 people, and we're continuing this effort, and we're super excited. This is one of the greatest people missions at scale that I've been able to work on. My experience working with the Fellows Program has been one of the most grueling, intense, but fun and amazing experiences that I've ever had. And there are so many incredible people that deserve thanks, and these folks, both from inside and outside government, have been some of the most passionate and dedicated people I've ever had the honor and the privilege to work with. The fact that the program even had a 4-year anniversary is still amazing, and I still kind of get the tinglies when I think about it. But I really want to thank people that empowered me and inspired me to believe in me that I could do something like this, even with very little experience and background. Mentors like Matt Collier and leaders like Todd Park, who believed in me and encouraged me to continue to tell this story as a co-founder and help people do it too in their own way. So this is my only attempt to be techie, because believe me, I'm a lawyer. I am not a coder in any sense of the word. But this is a heart-shaped infographic, a word cloud, and it's just a very small sampling of some of the amazing people that never get enough credit for the work that they've done to create and develop and sustain the PIF program. A lot of these people are agency sponsors who, for the first time when we set up the program, took a chance and dedicated resources to bring in really great talent, not really sure if it was going to pay off, but they took that chance with us and they became our champions going forward. A lot of these folks are office and admin staff who, in addition to their crazy day jobs, kept us going to a very fast and intense schedule to get the program set up and get our first class in, probably in a span of months. Other folks are great external people from the outside, like Emoju Miller and Bob Spohr, who really liked what we were doing and wanted to help us try to find those diverse applicant pools and really help get out to across really talented networks to make sure that we were attracting and bringing in the most talented people that we could across the country. And other people are people currently within agencies, currently in the White House, and with other companies outside in industry who continue to see the value of the program and support it and advocate for it every day to help sustain it. Thank you again for giving me this opportunity to tell this story. Thank you.